This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made.
Good morning and welcome to All Saints by the Seas Digital Children's Chapel. I'm Reverend Amy, and while I miss being able to be with you all in person, I'm so glad that we can be together in this digital format. If you are able, I ask you to find a candle in your house and have a grown-up who's with you help you light the candle as we get started with Children's Chapel. Each week we light the candle as a reminder that God's light is shining in our world, in the dark places, and there's places where we're afraid, and there's places where we're sad, and there's places where there's joy and happiness and fun and love. God's light is shining everywhere, and this light is a symbol of God's light. So let's go ahead and light our candle with the grown-ups' help. And now it's time to say our prayers. So why don't you center your hands in front of your heart to help us center ourselves for our prayer. And we'll take in 3 deep breaths, in through our nose and out through our mouth. I like to close my eyes when I do it. So if you'd like to do that, you can as well. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. 1, 2, 3. And now repeat after me. God be in my head and in my thinking. God be in my eyes and in my seeing. God be in my ears and in my hearing. God be in my mouth and in my speaking. God be in my heart and in my loving. Amen. And now we're going to hear the story for today.
Today I'm going to read you a book called What is God's Name? And it's one of my favorite stories. Are you ready? Okay, listening ears. After God created the world, all living things were given a name. But no one knew the name for God. So each person looked for God's name. The farmer called God source of life. The man who tended sheep called God shepherd. The tired soldier called God maker of peace. The woman who took care of sick people called God healer. The young woman who nursed her baby called God mother. And the young man who held his baby's hand called God Father. And the child who was lonely called God friend. Ooh. The page got away from me there. All of the people called God by different names. Each person said, "My name for God is the best," but no one listened. Then one day, all the people came together. They knelt by a lake that was like a mirror, God's mirror. Can you see this special lake here? And look how each person is reflected in God's mirror. Do you see how? Can you see each person? What a beautiful lake. They looked in the mirror and saw their own faces. They saw the faces of all the others. Look how happy they are. Goodness me. At that moment, the people knew that all their names for God were good. And all at once, all together, they called God one. God heard and was very happy. What was your favorite part of this story? What did you think was the most important part of this story? So can you turn to the grown-up that you're with, or to your friend or brother or sister, and talk to them about your favorite part and what you think is the most important part? You can pause the video if you need to. Okay, thanks so much. Just remember to restart the video after you have finished talking about our book this week. Thank you.
The story tells us about how good God is. Let's sing about that together. God is so good. God is so so good. He's so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He's so good to me.
That was a wonderful story. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm Chaplain Allison, and I'm really glad that you're worshiping with us today. I'm here in my backyard with my chickens and my dog Waffles. So we're going to get ready to have our closing prayer. So let's put our hands in prayer position and have 3 deep breaths in and out to help us get settled in prayer position. That's 1. So let's go. Another deep breath in and out and in and out. Okay. Help me, Lord, to love you more than I've ever loved before. In my work and in my play, God be with me through the day. Amen. And now it's time to change the light. Remember, we light the candle to represent God's light here with us. And when we blow the candle out, it doesn't mean that God's light and God's love go away. It means that it goes everywhere, and it's inside of us also. So let's watch the light as it goes. There it goes. It's moving everywhere. So, thank you for worshiping all of us here today. And now let's sing a song.
The candle reminds us that God's light is always within us, and we can let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna